It's been a lot of ups and downs this year. 2017 was just a whirlwind, and I'm still in reeling in the shock. The year's not yet over. We
Yeah,
still have a couple weeks. You never
yeah,
know what can happen.
yeah.
I now have learned never say never. You can't plan on anything.
Mm-hmm,
And yeah, but it's also been a lot of really good challenges.
mm-hmm,
And well, the first big thing was that I had ended my relationship, what I had been going on for a couple years, and we really cared about each other, but there are just some things that were not working.
okay,
And it was interesting to see that there was a lot of connection to our relationship and to my family life. So like there was stress going on from both sides, and it was the exact same. And I was like,
mm.
okay, this is a weird,
What you
weird thing to
mean?
be.
What you mean by that?
Well, like my parents were also going through a lot of issues, and they're also separating. That's been out in the open for like a year now that they're
Mm-hmm,
gonna split up. And yeah, and just the way their behaviors were,
mm-hmm,
because I know a lot about their relationship, the way they were behaving,
mm-hmm,
and the way I was behaving with my ex-boyfriend there was a lot of similarities, and I kind of am realizing that now, like in my reflection phase.
okay,
But in the moment, it was also like an intuitive gut instinct, like this is not okay, and this is not the only place where I've seen this before. So
okay.
there's a weird connection to that, yeah. And I even had my parents over to our house. We lived together, and even seeing them like in our living room, sitting with them and being like, okay, there's a lot of similarities, and this is not okay. This is
Okay.
weird. I'm
Yeah.
not feeling this vibe.
Yeah.
We all kind of try to play it off and be kind of happy family, but
Yeah.
there's also underlying tension. So
I
a lot
had
of
had I had had a conversation with my mom at one point about the she had actually told me that she wondered if she had done me a disservice by the the impression that she gave me of relationships.
okay,
and
interesting.
um and I don't, it's, I did notice in my first relationship, like, well, when I look back on it all in hindsight, I
Yeah,
do realize, like, for instance, that, like, I primarily saw between my mom and my stepfather, like, he played the role of the protector provider, and I didn't really see the affectionate side of him,
mm-hmm.
or in their relationship. It was just more like, we got to get shit done,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I realized in my first relationship, this is what it was all about for me. Like, and I thought I was like doing a crazy good job in, for as much as I could, like, as far as being the protector provider guy. But I definitely learned after the fact that, I definitely didn't hug her enough, and I wasn't
Affection.
comforting,
Yeah,
so yeah, I can see how you grow, you grow up, and you base your mode of behavior upon what you see,
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Your parents are your role models,
yeah, yeah.
and what they had for a relationship is what I had. And the thing is, this was my first relationship ever. Like beforehand, I was just single, having fun, and
Mhm,
exploring myself. I'm just really trying to get to know who I was in
mhm,
this crazy city.
mhm,
And so this was my first relationship
mhm.
ever. So it
Yeah.
was really like the test of time. And for me, what's hilarious, or like now thinking about it, at the time it wasn't so funny, but
Mhm,
it was like, thank God that, I know my parents had to go through all this shit for 25 years.
mhm,
And thank God that I only had to go through it for two, and I could
mhm.
already and already see the mistakes and be like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
dealing with this,
yeah, yeah.
and like my mom is now also feeling better after 25 years, being like, okay, I had this time with this man in my family, but now it's time for me and
Mhm.
to work on myself and just motivate, push myself into new territories, what I've never explored before. Yeah, I'm happy that I got it over after 2 years. Don't have to
Yeah.
waste
I mean,
time.
I wonder if you can. I mean, obviously, some people do it, but I wonder if you can actually get it right within your first relationship.
with like get it right the first time around.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, look, in the old days, you know, people were married for like 60 years and 80 years. They had met each other when they were 20 in high school. Like my grandparents. My grandparents met each other when they were 16. They've been together ever since. And now they're in their 70s. You know, there was that generation where the first time around, it is what it is. And, you know, we love each other and we'll figure it out. Right. But it doesn't mean that it was right, because they still took all that shit from all that stuff, from all like their parents' relationship and brought it just over into theirs and then raised their family that way. So it's not that they actually worked on the mistakes. They just took it over and they thought that was right. Yeah. And so nowadays, you know, we're splitting up from our partners like every 10, 12, 15 years because at some point you realize, oh, okay, that was a good decision then and it's not good for me now and I have to work on myself. I mean, they're 70. They don't care anymore. They're like, we are who we are and it is what it is. And I have in German we call it Macken, and that's like, I have my crazy things and you have your crazy things and we just have to work together. But that's not the case anymore. So, I don't know. The first time around, I don't think you get it right because you're so young usually. I mean, I don't know a lot of people who've ever started relationships in their 40s. It could be a thing. I don't know. Start
dating in their 40s or start a relationship?
Like, no, yeah, it's like start a relationship, not like start dating. Like, but I don't know anyone who's ever done that. So I don't know if that it's an up and coming trend now that people are just going to wait out until like 40 years have gone by and like, all right, I got all that stuff out of my system from my crappy childhood. Now I'm ready. But as people start their relationships so young and they haven't had time to work on their traumas through their past life and through, you know, what their parents have taught them or have done to them, you know. So I don't think you can anymore. I don't think that it exists. But love is still out there somewhere.
Oh, word. And so what are you gonna do next? You learned a couple things, and are you gonna like go into another relationship, or are you like gonna
No. I mean, because the thing is, if I would have just broken up with my boyfriend, I think I still would have been open for a relationship, actually, and kind of like soon. But because of what was also going on with my parents, and also being involved a lot in the family issues, I've always been involved in the family. Like, unbeknownst to me, unwillingly, you know, I was the chosen one to be in between the relationships and trying to control and organize everything. So because that also happened at the same time, it just showed me, like, I obviously, you know, will think about it in the future, and I'm not against it, but right now, I just want to be alone. Like, I want my space. Because that was the issue in my relationship I had no space. I had no room to breathe and be who I was and be comfortable also with who I was. You know, there was a lot of just tension in the house, and I never left the house. I was just stuck at home. So now it's just like, you know what? Nah. Like, I'll do my thing. I'm single again. I'm having my fun, but I'm just gonna work on me and just trying to better myself first and also work on my stuff, because I know I'm also crazy in relationships. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I mean, I'm not saying that he was the bad guy and I was the good guy, you know. I also had my part. And I want to work on that, you know. Unlike him, he's not ready to kind of deal with his relationship issues because it has a lot to do with his family, but he's also not ready to work on. I'm already at the point where I'm like, all right, I got my family issues, I got them under control, but now I need to realize how I act in relationships with other people because I'm carrying the same.
What are you going to work on?
Trying not to be too obsessed, too crazy. You know, when I put my heart into something, I put my heart into it 110%, and that's not good because I don't leave any percentage of that for me and for my self-care. And I always just give and don't expect much in return. And at some point, though, if you don't get much in return, your body feels empty, like your soul just feels empty. And I want to be able to fill that with my energy instead of from somebody else. And that's where, I have to work on not getting too obsessed. And if I start something new with a guy, being like, oh, what's this going to be? What's this going to turn out to be? Like, I'm always thinking about the future. And I shouldn't be doing that too much. I should just be living the moment, having fun, and not getting too obsessed. But that's so me. I think so much. I'm always thinking about everything. So
what'd you say? I didn't hear that last part.
That's me. I'm always thinking about everything. I've kind of been like raised that way,
Okay.
like to always think about what the consequences are and what like the actions are what your actions are and how it's going to affect you in the future. I'm always in that modus, like always thinking ahead instead of just being here and now. So
Yeah, okay, so not obsessed. To me, this is easy. This is easy. Come on, you did that already.
yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, it is easy, but if you push the right buttons, then you can fall into old patterns, and
Yeah.
that's what you have to work on is these buttons, making sure that there's like a 10-foot wall around them, and no one's getting to you
Oh, okay.
through those triggers. So yeah, you're right. It is easy, and I'm working on it, and I'm actually doing a lot better.
Hmm.
But I still have those moments
But
where these things.
how could you know you're doing better if you're not in a relationship? You can only find out when you're actually in the relationship.
No, because I'm also obsessed when I meet up with. I mean, well,
Oh, okay.
I
Obsessed
also
when
get obsessed when
you.
I meet guys and like start having a fling or something. Like that, it starts there. Really, like that's. I mean, the relationship thing is like the next level, but I'm
Mhm.
still at the stage. Like even if I meet up with a guy and like can kind of feel some attraction and kind of feel some tension, even if it's just a fling, and we
Mhm.
both know that, I can still sometimes fall into the patterns. If he says the right things, if he treats me really nicely, that's a problem. If I get treated nicely, I think about it and I obsess about it. And if I get treated like awfully, then yeah, I just take it and I'm okay with it, which is not okay. But
What? Okay,
yeah,
so if they treat you nicely, then what happens? If they treat you nicely.
then I get obsessed and then I like want more of it and then I'm like craving it and that's when I get like into this modus of being like, oh, like can we make something serious out of this? Like
Mm,
what's our future gonna be like?
mm,
Like that kind of thing. If I
mm.
get treated nicely.
Okay, so then if you get treated poorly, then what happens?
Then yeah, I just sit there and take it. Like and I mean I just let it happen and
Okay,
yeah, that's it.
okay,
I
so
just take it, I let it happen and I let them treat me like that and but like I'm still loyal and I'm still there. Like it's a bit messed
but
up.
okay, so then here's the interesting question. Then, so if you think about the future with someone who treats you nicely, right?
Yeah.
You not thinking about the future of someone who treats you poorly, like, so you can say, oh, this is what I have to look forward to, like if I it, so this is what makes it interesting about taking it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I know, cause yeah, exactly, cause I feel like when you treat me poorly, like I feel like I'm looking at my parents' relationship. Like I just stay there and I just take it, and I'm like, okay, this is what I have to deal with, and like, but I still like I don't obsess about the future, but I know like I think about it, and I'm like, okay, then I because they always come with the apologies and the I'm sorry,
mm-hmm,
when they treat you badly, and it's kind of like the manipulation, and then you're like, okay, well, he's not gonna do it again for like the next time, then all right, I'll stick around. He
mm-hmm,
does it again the next time, he apologizes. Okay, well, I'll just take it and I'll just sit here and like leave it. But
mm,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I experience that a lot, so I know what that is.
Ouch. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of something to think about, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
this is what I want to work on, and like not being obsessed and like being able to stand my ground. And when I know that something's not feeling right, then also stick to my feelings and just go with it instead of waiting and waiting and waiting to see if the situation gets better. It's
mhm,
both. Work on both. I know that. So
yeah.
there's a lot of time and a lot of that's why 2018. It's this is the year of Alicia and trying to, also fix relationships, not just like with flings or with men, but also like friendships. And
Mhm,
because I was so stuck in my hole for like 2 years, it's what
yeah.
happens a lot in
Yeah.
relationships. You kind of get to that couple mode and
Mhm,
that's it. And then you kind of realize, oh my God, I haven't talked to my friends in like months. Like,
mhm.
where have I been? What have they been up to?
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those, and that's what I mean with this obsessiveness. Like, I get stuck. I get really stuck, and I can't find a balance.